My lovers, we're taking a deep dive today into your person's regrets about you and the connection. And in the extended, we're going to look at your person's regrets about them and the third party or karmic, if there is one attached to your relationship, your connection at this time. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, let's look at who we're tapping into, the energy that they're embodying at this time, and the energy that they're embodying specifically towards you. So the first thing we have here is the lumberjack, masculine and outdoorsy. He'll chop wood, but may not break the ice. Okay, so it feels like, your person, they could be very action oriented, especially in the work aspect of their life, especially when it comes to their hobbies and how they spend their leisure time. But it looks like when it comes to interpersonal relationships, your person may have some sort of hang up or some sort of block where that is concerned. I mean, they could be physically built, like a lumberjack as well, very strong, very masculine dominant. But when it comes to relationships, it feels like they just can't get a handle on it, especially on the communication aspect. Okay? All right. Let's see. Their energy generally, this is who they are generally. We have the student. So it could be that they might be pursuing studies right now, like formal academic studies. It says here, young and idealistic, big dreams, tiny budget. Okay. It could be that they're doing some research into how to get a particular project or something that's close to their heart off the ground. And as we see here, this person, they're burning the candle at two ends, right? At both ends, right? They're working night and day. This is something that, as I said, they're really passionate about. They're pouring their soul into this, and it's easy for this person to pour their soul into it because it doesn't require any kind of emotional vulnerability, right? They're not dealing with anybody else, right? So when it comes to anything that's not related to interpersonal relationships, they thrive. Your person might even be a researcher, a scientist, and I wouldn't say a qualitative researcher either. It's quantitative. They're not dealing with people, right? Their people skills are kind of off, right? But it feels like there is some sort of project that's really passionate, that's really close to their heart that they're working at this time, and it feels like them taking a deep dive. Um, I'll pull a card and see what that project might center around. But for some of them, it's definitely formal education, going back to school, um, that kind of thing. We see here Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So it might be something that they may have tried to get off the ground before, but may not have been successful. So they're going at it again. What is this thing? We have a Queen of Swords in reverse. Now, this is a karmic energy, but this could also be the energy of your person moving in silence. Whatever this thing is, they're not sharing it with anyone else because they don't want anyone to blight it or jinx it. Okay? What is this thing? Okay, we have it. We have a child. We have Page of Pentacles. Now, Page of Pentacles could represent a new foundation as well. And we have Ace of Cups. So for some of them, it might be an NGO targeted towards mentoring children. It could be that they might be studying, weirdly enough, counseling or psychology. Okay. But whatever this thing is, it's something that when they think about it, it really warms their heart, whatever this thing is. Okay. So it's some sort of project that they might be breathing new life into, or it could be something, that they're starting from scratch. But either way, this is what their focus is on at this time. All right. But what's the energy towards you? We have the bartender. Interesting. And it says here, smooth and charming. He remembers your drink, though maybe not your name. Or maybe he doesn't want to remember your name. Maybe they don't want to remember your name at this point. Okay, so this person, I think when I think about you, there's a lot of romantic feelings that's there, right? We have a lot of water here. There's the sea in the background, and we certainly have this cup that this person wants to fill up, right? So when they think about you, they do think about pouring into you. But it seems like there might be a concerted effort at this time by this person, one, not to reach out, and two, to consciously forget you. And that might be a hard pill to swallow. Let's get into this part and the energy. That might be a hard pill to swallow, but it feels like they are trying to forget you. Why are they trying to forget you? All right, for some of them, they might be in another relationship. Okay. We have the Hierophant here, and the Hierophant talks about our contracts, but it also can talk about our belief systems and our programming. So there could be something about you, something that you represent, something that you believe that may not align with their own, and I say that in quotation marks because it might not even be their own belief system. It could be just the belief system that they grew up with. Whatever it is, it doesn't align with their belief system. It doesn't align with their ideas of what a relationship should be and what it should look like. Okay, so they think, the easy way out, instead of changing my belief system, instead of transforming, what I'm going to do? I am going to forget, viewer. But Spirit's letting you know right now they have not moved on. Six of Swords in reverse. So they might be trying, but they're not succeeding. I think you are all up in their energy. I think they miss you a lot. I think they have a lot of feelings for you. I think they may have regretted some of their decisions in this relationship, but I feel like your person is stubborn as fuck and they're not going to say. Let's ask Spirit outright. What are some of your person's regrets in this connection? I think we just picked up on some of them. Let's ask directly. When it comes to this connection, what are some of their regrets? We have seeking perfection. All right. What do they call these people? Maximizers. Maximizers, right? Seeking perfection, not only in others, it starts with themselves. So this person is very hypercritical about themselves. So if you felt that they were critical about you, maybe what your physicality, your qualifications, education, how you conducted relationships, might have been very critical. That's nothing that's personal to you. They are critical of everything, right? Because there's a perfectionism that they are striving to attain but cannot achieve. Okay. And when we talk about people who are maximizers, they're always looking for that perfect someone or that perfect something. It's not just relegated to people, that perfect something. And what they do in that quest to attain this perfect something that of course does not exist, they pass up on good, real, tangible opportunities to have something that is functional, that is mature, and that is grounded, right? They're always looking for this elusive something or someone. Okay? So what are their regrets? They regret running after a fantasy. Something that was not even there, something that was not even real. And what they realize now, look, it says right here, that everyone has flaws. Choose only 5 must-haves and deal breakers that matter. But it looks like for this person, every minute thing, every minute detail was a deal breaker. And it all goes back to not just the search for perfectionism, because that also has its genesis. And the genesis of that search for perfectionism is their poor self image and poor self esteem, right? So they always look for a partner that they can have as a trophy because they don't feel okay, secure, and right within their own self. So their attitude is, okay, I know I'm a shitty person, right? But look at what I've been able to attract. So one of their regrets is that, elusive search for perfectionism. What else do they regret? Now we have here a fear of cheating. And it says, not everyone cheats. You need to open your heart and trust your partner. Okay. So it looks like your person has been in relationships before. Okay, I'm getting two interpretations, so I'm giving you the first one. Your person has been in relationships before where their partner may have been unfaithful. And it's not just, maybe being with other people, but there are also other ways that someone can be unfaithful, right? Financial infidelity, emotional infidelity, that kind of thing. And it feels like your person brought all this baggage into this relationship. So their whole idea, you don't get too close, then there's no emotional damage when people do cheat on you, because they think that everybody cheats because maybe they've always been a cheater. That's one. And it could be as well that because your person may have been a philanderer, they might have been concerned about hurting you when they finally did cheat on you. Okay? So it feels like your person has an issue with self discipline. They may have recognized early that they cared for you more than the other people that they've been with, and they didn't want to hurt you. So it feels like part of them, part of their reason why they may not have taken this relationship to the next level like you wanted it is because they have genuine fears that they will not be able to live up to your standards. I think there's but they're looking back and seeing now that they are changing on this cellular level, they are capable of being faithful, and they are recognizing that not everybody cheats and that you're someone that's trustworthy. Okay? What are their regrets? We have here playing games, right? They regret stringing you along. They regret playing with your heart, right? They regret trying to do some kind of one-upmanship, trying to get the upper hand, right? Doing all kind of shit to provoke a reaction, or maybe even tear you down, and tear down your achievements, right? So it feels like your person has made some big changes in their life. They're not the same person, and they're looking back on everything, and recognizing these are my regrets. And it says here, you don't need to play games to keep the right one interested in you. So they might have been, doing that kind of hot and cold shit, just to pique your interest, or maybe trying to get you jealous, that kind of thing. But they're realizing now that they don't have to do all that stuff. They don't have to do all that stuff to remain the person of your interest. All they had to be was themselves. What are their regrets? We have losing yourself. It feels like your person has been through some difficult times, right? And they may have allowed those difficult times and trauma. I'm hearing PTSD, so I feel like maybe for some of you, your person might be a person maybe in the military services or something like that, and they may have, I'm not going to use the word allowed because trauma is deeply impactful. So I'm not going to use the word allowed. But it could be that whatever they experienced, whatever they witnessed, warped the essence of who they are, right? Made them act out of character, act outside of their integral belief system, and they may have done things or said things that they now regret, right? It says, you feel lost in your partner. It's okay to be yourself and have your own life too. I also get as well that they might have been persons who are influential in your person's life that may have had some part to play in your person acting like they did, right? I think your person may have lost themselves and lost their bearings in their search for validation from these people. Okay? What else is your person regretting? What are their regrets? So you see, it looks like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of reflection going on. There's a lot of accountability going on. But for some reason, the person that they need to discuss this with, you, they're not doing it. And it all boils down, perhaps to pride, perhaps ego, perhaps fear. Okay, what do they regret? That when you entered their life, and it feels like they may have petitioned the universe. There's somebody petitioning the universe. They may have petitioned the universe to send someone like you into their life, right? But when you appeared, they weren't ready. When you appeared, it looks like your person was just coming out of something, and they remained stuck in the past for the duration of your relationship, situationship, engagement, connection to each other. Instead of focusing on what was presented to them, they were focused on past trauma, past relationships, past people, maybe an ex that might have come back into their life. So instead of looking at what was in the present or looking forward at what the future might be, they were just thinking about everything that had happened to them. And they were just being self-protective. That doesn't give them a pass, but sometimes it can help us understand why people do the things that they do. Let's get some 3D messages from your person. And then I'll get some messages from their higher self. "3D messages from your person. What do they want you to know right now? Besides their regrets, what's the most important messages that they want you to know?" And we have here, block and bless, boundary, no contact, closure. So as I told you, I think they're trying to block you out. I really do think that, right? But I do think that part of them trying to block you out is because they are trying to abandon you before you abandon them. So they're still stuck in the past. What's the most important message that they want you to know right now? We have muted, but not moved on. And it's exactly as I told you, right? They may not be saying anything to you, may not be saying shit. There might be radio silence that's happening right now. Or you might be in contact and the important conversations are not being had, right? But Spirit saying, just because they're silent doesn't mean that they've moseyed along, right? They are, Spirit saying, it's saying here, hiding their feelings, making fake claims, and still hurting. Okay? So it looks like they're missing you. They've not moved on from you, but they're not saying shit. What else do they want you to know? Just as we were talking, we were just talking about it. It's saying it's not me, it's trauma. So a lot of things that you may have experienced with this person are things that may not have been consciously done. It's just them responding to triggers, responding to trauma, and it looks like you triggered this person hard. Okay? Triggering, projection, and inner wounds. And we got that stuck in the past card. So that's just bolstering everything we already know. What else do they want you to know? Talking to the void. And it says texting them, no reply, left hanging. So for some of you, you may have tried reaching out and you didn't get any reply. They want you to know they have received your text. Okay? They've received it, they've read it, and they keep reading it. But right now, they're not in a place or position to respond. And you don't have to sit there and wait for them to answer. Okay? Just letting you know. We have, you never really loved me. So this is just an insight into what they're thinking whilst they're here in the void. I mean, I would think that if you're reaching out, if you're texting them, that you're still interested, right? But they are so deep in their rejection trauma, their abandonment trauma, that as far as they're concerned, you never really loved them. And they may be coming to that conclusion because you're not pursuing them as hard as you did before. In fact, for some of you guys, you're not pursuing them at all, right? So they're like, you never really loved me. Maybe love for this person is people stalking them, people pursuing them hard despite their rejection, their mutism, their rejection. So maybe that's love for this person. And right now they're not feeling the love from you. What does Spirit want you to do in this situation here where, this person, they have all these feelings, but they're not reaching out, they're not talking, they're not communicating? What does Spirit want you to do? So in the extent, we're going to look at their regrets with regard to the third party or karmic. We're going to use the same format, and then we're going to look at their next actions towards you within a month of you watching this reading. We have shadow. Okay, so it looks like that's what they're powering through right now. This is what they're trying to heal. All their all their inner child wounds. Powering through their triggers. But what does Spirit want you to do? We have balance. Okay, so Spirit's saying that everything that needs to happen in this relationship right now has to be in equilibrium, has to be in balance with each other. So if it is that you are reaching out and they're not responding, stop fucking reaching out right now. Right? There has to be an equal exchange of energies. If there isn't an equal exchange of energies, it's not sustainable. You can't do all the emotional labor in the relationship for both of you guys. You can't always be the one to reach out. You can't always be the one to smooth things over. You can't always be the one that's patient. You can't always be the one that's kind. Right? So if they're not doing any of these things, then fuck away with them, yes? Right? You can tell them where to get off. You can tell them where to get off, because once you can understand the energies that are powering their behavior is still not acceptable. And it brings me back to something that I heard recently. Like, all emotions are valid, but all behaviors are not. And the silent treatment, okay, it's not acceptable, especially if you want to be in a relationship with someone, especially if you care about someone. Okay? All right. I'm lost, so if you're interested, join me next and let's look at what's going on in the karmic relationship. Otherwise, could you put a comment down below? You can talk about what's happening right now in your connection. I will respond. All right? Take care. Much love. And subscribe if you've not subscribed already.